Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate how to bring this site survey into Revit through using the bearing numbers. The first thing you're going to note is this site survey actually shows everything in relationship to north. So there's no like south, west, or southeast. It's all north and northwest. So when we get into it, we're going to go back and forth a little bit just to make sure it's going the right direction according to this site survey. So I already have the project started in here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to property lines. We're going to go by entering distances and bearings. So when you're starting a site survey, you want to start with the top first, or the most northerly point, depending on how your property is oriented towards north. So let's enter this. 6.3, and then 68, 46, 30. So we have our first line here. So our next line will be over here. While I'm doing this, the one thing that you'll see from time to time, since most of my projects are in Canada, is these site surveys won't always be in feet. Sometimes they'll be in meters. So when you enter the distance, you can actually put an M after the distance, and it'll automatically convert it to feet. Canada is kind of a weird place where the municipalities and the cities want everything in metric, but then all the contractors still, for the most part, build in feet. So you have to just be mindful of that. So 0.5. Okay. So this is clearly not going in the right direction. So what we'll do is since it's going south, we'll just reorientate that. Still not right. So I added a couple more lines to this. The one thing you just want to note here, kind of tricky, this arrow up here points to this line, and then there's another 18.99 feet here. And then down here there's actually two measurements. I'm going to use the larger one for now, and we'll go back and make sure that's right after we kind of complete it. So the next one, we're going to turn this corner here. So we got 90.93 feet, and then we have 3.28. And since this is going south and likely west, I'm going to guess at that. Looks like it's going in the right direction. So I added a couple more lines here. They're all going in the same direction, and it looks like from this, we're starting to get the same drawing. So let's start going north again here. We have 231 feet, 21, 13, 30. This is likely going north, but it's northwest, and actually you see that this actually makes sense, northwest. And then the last one here, we have this, it's going the same direction, so I'm just going to copy this number here. 69. Oh, I forgot to add the west here. Looks like it's almost perfect. I usually am not too concerned about that kind of stuff because these properties will, like the site surveys, are more just for planning purposes. If the township's concerned with it, they can obviously look at this actual document over here from the surveyor, but for our purposes, it's perfect. So I'm just going to hide this building. We already started drawing the building in here, but On the surveys, I usually do just a drawing to kind of mimic this, but let's start by locating the building. I'm going to use the circle tools under annotate. So we're going to do an offset first. So we're doing 73.5 feet. So we're somewhere in there. I have this zoning line set up. I'll use this for setbacks later, but right now it's nice to see the red. And so we're this one right here, 74.2 feet. 2 feet. So that's that corner of the building. And then doing the next one, which is 63.5. 63.5. And then we're going to also locate the garage on here. So the garage is 86.3. I did that in the wrong direction. Delete that. And then the other side is 66.1, which you can kind of see right over here. So that's our corner of our garage here. Start adding the garage just because it's the simplest structure over here. What I usually do is create a filled region, and we're going to draw it in a rectilinear manner first and then rotate it. So we have 12.3 wide, and then we have 20.4 long. What I'm going to do also is I'm going to do an offset of 3 feet, and these lines will become invisible lines. Then we're going to do diagonal up 2, so like that. So kind of hard to tell exactly what direction the building is going in, but move that. Just rotate this so it's along that line. Pretty close to parallel with that, so that's the way we'll leave it for now. We're not really doing anything with the garage with this project, so that should be sufficient. Then next we'll be doing the same thing for the house. We'll do a filled region. And again, we'll create this like this for now, 32.6. So again, we have the invisible line on the inside and then the normal one on the outside. So now let's get this in place. So we know that this corner is right there, and then we also know that this corner is on this part, so we're going to rotate that up using the place section of rotate, and there we go. We have our building in its proper place. I do notice that the garage and the building, I guess they're not too bad, but so we'll leave it like that. So for this project, this back part is going to be removed, but for right now I'm just going to leave this as that, and then once we figure out the design for the back part, I will create this existing part that's being removed as a dotted line, and then put the new addition on the back as kind of its own square. So here's our site plan. I guess the last thing to kind of finish this off, we'll just throw a few dimensions in this. Hit tab to grab the point there. And then there we go. And that's it.